Hello, hello, hello. It's early hours of the morning on a Friday. Whoops. I'm trying to do this quietly. I've already ruined it. It's the early hours of the morning on Friday, the 25th of October 2024, and I've just finished listening to the new mix of Queen 1, the first Queen album. It was just called Queen in the day. You know, like they don't call Jaws 1 Jaws 1. They don't call Jaws, they call it Jaws. And then there's Jaws 2 and 3 and 5 and 8. It's like Superman. Superman the movie, Superman 2. But anyway, I'm getting beside the point. So I just listened to it, and yeah, it's to be expected, really. It was an unnecessary remix. Again, I can understand that, when you're young, you know, you want to do a perfect thing, and you have limitations like studio time. That was a problem with Queen in that first record. They had limited recording time, so it wasn't exactly how they envisaged it. And here we are in the year of our Lord 2024, and they've pulled it apart and reconstructed it. It's wholly unnecessary. Wholly unnecessary. I think there's a way of going in there and cleaning it up, right? I think it'd be better if they'd have cleaned it up, but some of the choices are questionable. There's a distinct lack of bottom end. There's no grunt to this. Again, that first album and the band itself, when you play them live, were very earthy. They had a real, like I say, bottom end to them, and that's kind of been stripped out. I'm not saying that they've removed John Deacon. He's still there, but the bass frequencies have been pulled down, and there are some bits you think, yeah, they've cleaned it up. It sounds nice and shiny, and it's fine. And there are some bits, Liar, the opening of Liar with the drums and the hand claps. I actually swore when I heard that. I'm not a big kind of fanboy with remixes. I usually just shrug, but sometimes you've got to just wonder at how this got past, because it's very well. Go and listen to it. It just sounds awful. There's no grunt there. There's no power. It's kind of all that has been stripped out. The drums are very present. Roger Taylor says, "I want my drums present," to the point where, again, with Liar, his drums sound like they've been replaced. The skins sound kind of slappy and loose, not tight at all. It feels just wrong. If that was what was originally on the master tape, then I think the original mix and production was fine, because I hid that slappiness, sloppiness of the drums very, very well. Other than that, I don't know. I just listened to it and thought, why? Why would you do this? They've taken an album that had a very, homespun feel to it, because it was. These were based on demos, and they've tried to wax it and shine it. And again, the fans are going to love it. I'm a fan. I'm not so keen on it. I think some things are best left, unless there's going to be genuine improvement. And if all members of the band are involved, when we've got two people, acting as committee, they say John Deacon rubber stamps everything, but he probably just goes there and just lets them do what they want. I can't imagine he really cares that much. But there's one person missing in the key, and the key to all of this. And so you think, I don't think this is right. I don't think on a moral and ethical level, I think messing around, especially with some of the, again, definitely with The Night Comes Down, there's some definite messing around with the vocals in there. There's also some like weird transient echo delay on Keep Yourself Alive. There's just some stuff that just sounds odd to these ears. So it's a bit of an oddity. Some people will like it. I don't see the point of it. One thing, again, not to blow my own trumpet, that's one of the few instruments I don't own, but if I had a trumpet, I'd be tooting it right now. I prefer the mixes I've done. I'll add playlist. I'll add the playlist, because when this was announced, and I heard, again, I don't know if you've seen that review. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not. When I first heard The Night Comes Down, I was absolutely gobsmacked. I was like, and again, usually I'm not a fanboy about these things because we have the original mixes. It's not a big deal, but it was just the sheer audacity of re-pitching, using auto-tune or something on the vocals. There was something not right about it, or it sounded glassy. There was some weird stuff happening there, and that offended me. So I went off and remixed the album myself. I loaded the old mix into Logic Pro and pulled the stems apart. You can use a stem splitter in there, and did my own attempt at remixing it, and you can hear it. I did do an instrumental mix, but Queen didn't like that, so I had to take it down. Got blocked. So go and listen to my mixes. It keeps the earthiness of the original. You've still got that low end grunt, and I also get some more aggression out of the guitar, especially on like the latter half of Doing All Right. That's one of my favourites, because I do some stuff with the end vocals on that. I make them go from like mono to stereo, and it gives it a sense of space. Even on Mad the Swine, there was some swirly effects on the original mix on Mercury's voice, and they've been stripped off here, and it's all pretty static. A lot of the atmosphere has kind of been sucked out. It's very sterile. It's very kind of empty and very loud. I mean, again, I don't like talking about the loudness wars, because you can just turn things down. That's my watch telling me to go to bed. You can just turn things down. So I was never one of those people, when CDs were remastered and everyone's going, "Oh, it's hurting my ears." My ears did get fatigued tonight with this, because again, the original album had dynamics, and this is very, very in your face, especially with the drums. There's some little bits of guitar in there that were obviously lost before and have been reinstated, which was nice to hear, pleasant to hear. But this is what I mean. I think if they'd have just kept to the original, like the original mix of it, and reinstated some bits that have been taken out, cleaned up where there was noise. There are some noisy bits on the vocals on one of the tracks. They could have done all that and kept it, just opened it up slightly, just opened it up. But they didn't. They didn't. And that's again because Roger Taylor wasn't happy with his drum sound, and they weren't happy with that mix of it. So what can I say? Go and listen to it. It's on streaming. It's on the streaming services now. You can listen to the entire collector's edition. Of course, I didn't listen to all of it. I did cherry pick some of the bits and bobs. What did I quickly listen to? I listened to some of the demos. Again, I think they've been out before. I think I've heard them before, and I just wanted to see if they messed around with those, and I don't think they have. They've just laid those out fairly flat. Interesting to hear some of the guide vocals. There's a guide vocal on Mad the Swine, which is fun. What else did I listen to? Listen to the BBC sessions, but they sound very much like they do on Live at the BBC and our version that they brought out more recently. So you can listen to that. It's I think it's nearly 4 hours, is it? 4 hours 35 minutes of stuff there. You can listen to the whole thing, and that will save you £150. But I don't understand why you'd want an instrumental mix of the album. Again, it's I think that's disrespectful to Mercury. His voice is what makes it. It's like doing instrumental mixes of the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, or insert whatever your favourite band is here. I don't see the point of it unless they're doing something radical. Like they did with the Beatles' Love album. For Cirque du Soleil, there's a point to that. So yeah, I come away from it thinking it's a missed opportunity. The drums really are the total focus of it. There's a real hollowness to the sound. It's very loud, and I don't know. It's taken a very homely album and made it, kind of brittle and a bit empty. It's taken the core of it out, and that's it. That's just. I mean, I'm all right because I've got the vinyl of it from the box set. I've got various digital rips I've made of CDs over the years, so I'm all right. I'll live, but it's. I think it's a lesson in how not to do a remix, because it loses the heart. It loses the heart of the record, and that's the problem. Of course, there'll be people that like it, and that's fine. If you like it, good for you. Good for you. I'm not knocking you if you like it. We all hear things differently and see different things. But I think sometimes it's best to be faithful to the original and just enhance the details, rather than do this. But go and listen to my remixes. Again, they're not as good as. I don't know if these guys actually had the master tapes. I'd like to think they did, and if they did, it's a shame that they. It'd be funny if they just used Logic Pro and the stem splitter like I did. But go and listen. I'll put the playlist in the box below. Go and have a listen to that. See what you think of that. It's a little bit bass heavy, because I do like the bass guitar. So that's my only criticism of my mix. But I've tried to tighten the drums. It's more about tightening the drums up, because I do understand. Again, that was the interesting thing of listening to the instrumental mixes that I'd made. Is they decided to make these very wide panning kind of drums. They had a very big soundstage to them, and I think that was the problem. And what I did with those is I just pulled them in, using my trickery. I pulled them in, made them a bit tighter, rather than having them flopping around in stereo, and that really focused the frequencies. So yeah, check those out. So this is just an advert to listen to me. But here we go. I mean, that album is precious to me because it reminds me of being a teenager. It was an album of theirs, because I think I got, oh crikey, I got Greatest Hits, then I got The Works, and then I started collecting the albums in chronological order. And this one was like the first step, obviously, on the journey. And I remember listening to it a lot on cassette, and it's like I say, it's a special place. There's a special place here, like The Works does. And it's just, I don't know, it could have been done so much better, if they hadn't have listened to Roger Taylor. But you have a choice. You don't have to buy it. You can ignore it, and you can pick up a copy of the old mix if you so wish. So yeah, that's the review. Sorry I've gone on so long. It was meant to be quite short. It didn't offend me as much as I thought it was going to, though the opening section of Liar was just made me recoil. I did say, I may have said a rude word, but it is a bit tiring. It did tire me out, exhausted me by the end, because it was very, very in your face. Subtle, it ain't. All that subtlety, and like I said, it's the homeliness of it has been hollowed out, and it's very different. Again, it sounds more modern. It sounds less, the 1970s, and more of a modern mix, if you know what I mean. And that's a shame, because it rips it out of time and space. It is a thing of its time, when those people were young and different and full of energy, and they've changed it into something else. And that's the danger when you do mixes like this. You end up, moving so far away from the original statement. But anyway, I'm waxing lyrical. You're not interested in that. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'm ever so sorry for burbling on. That's it. If you like this video, like the video. If you didn't, don't like it. And subscribe if you want to hear me burble on about something else, because that's what I tend to do. And that's it. Thank you for watching. There's only one more thing left to say, and that is ta-ta.